Hey, I'm just trying to get technical things in order here. I can finally see everybody's comments. Wow, I didn't expect this many people to show up tonight, but that is great. My daughter Mackenzie is supposed to be joining in here. She's going to be my moderator for me tonight. So just hello to Jewel. Really nice for you to come out and support me. Hello, Eunice and Rick. Tell me where you're from. Let me know in the chat where you're from. I see my other daughter, Brady, is here as well. Thank you, Brady, for showing up. Shannon, hello. So yeah, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comments where you're from. Oh, hi, Mackenzie is under Echo Rain, so hello. So I will just get rolling here. So this is my first live. I'm very nervous and, I'm excited as well. So I'm hoping that it goes well. It's something that I've been avoiding doing on my YouTube channel. I've been doing YouTube for probably about 4 or 5 years now, and going live is something that I just never thought I would ever be able to do. But I'm really trying to scale up my my YouTube channel, and I've had some amazing coaching from one of my guests here, Jewel, her and Arit from Essetino Media have been really awesome coaches. So if you are ever in need of some YouTube coaching, those are the girls to go to. And I will, when I figure things out, I'll put their link in my description box. So I just wanted to talk about tonight some things that I'm really passionate about, and I thought because we are coming up on seed starting, indoor seed starting, that maybe some people don't really know what is a good time to start their seeds, and how long before I can put them outside. So there's just a few things that you kind of need to know to understand when you should plant things. And I had a screenshot or a slideshow already here that of course now has disappeared on me, so I'm just going to pop that up here. So it is important to know before you start seeds indoors, what your growing zone is and why that's important. We have here, I'm in growing zone 3. So I'm just going to pull up a map here just to show you kind of how you can figure out what your growing zone is and why it's important. So I'm hoping that you guys can see my slideshow. So Kenzie, can you see my screen? Of course, I can't tell the chat with these things up now, but so I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the importance of growing zones for outdoor gardens. And just to see if I'm sharing the screen here. Share screen. There. So if you don't know, all of our, growing zones are based on basically the minimum temperatures that we hit during the winter season. So, of course, up in the north, where these winter temperatures are very cold, the growing zone is a lower number, and then it gets higher as we move down, of course, into the states where it's warmer. So it's classified based on the climate conditions, particularly temperature and frost patterns. So where I live here in Saskatchewan, I'm in growing zone 3. So what that means is in the winter time, the temperatures can drop to -30 to -40 degrees Celsius in very extreme conditions. And if you move down into higher numbers, further south into the states, those winter temperatures are less drastic. They drop into I'm just going to go to the US, like a zone 5, zone 6. When we get down into the southern states, the winter temperatures can get somewhere between -10 to -20 Fahrenheit, or -20 to -30. So those kind of determine, what plants you can grow as far as perennials and, bushes and trees and fruit trees. And it's important to know what your growing zone is so that you select the right plants, and you know when your last frost date is going to be and how long of a season you have to grow outdoors. So, if you want to just figure that out, if you don't know your growing zone, you don't know what your last frost date, it's as easy as just doing a Google search where you just type in what's my last frost date near me. And for me, I just chose the Saskatoon area. You can put in a postal code or a zip code, and it will tell you right away what your last frost date is and when your first frost can be expected in the fall, and kind of give you a range of how many outdoor growing days you have. So once you have that, then that is, important to understand and know, so you know what plant selection you have, how long your season is, of course, and what you can and cannot grow where you live. So, why should you start seeds indoors then? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. And because, we live in cold climates like I do here in growing zone 3, Saskatchewan, my growing season is very short. And so in order to extend that season and be able to grow, more varieties, you want to start your seeds indoors. You can get better germination rates, obviously, than trying to start them outside in cold soil temperatures. Plus, the thing that I really like about starting seeds indoors is you have a whole wider selection of varieties like tomatoes, peppers, those kinds of things. When you go to buy them in a greenhouse, you have limited selection. But if you are starting your own from seed and you get into a seed catalog or go online, there is just, way more varieties to choose from. So you really have a lot more options if you are starting your own seeds indoors. And of course, comparing in the prices of buying, seedlings and flowers and stuff at the nurseries in the spring, it can be a lot cheaper to start your own indoors as well. So I'm just going to stop sharing here, see where I am. Okay, so I'm just checking the chat here. Hello. Hello, Shannon from Calgary, Susan from Morinville, Alberta. So you guys are also in a growing zone similar to me. Calgary may be a little bit warmer sometimes, but so we all have to deal with that short, growing season, and having to be able to start our seeds indoors just gives us the opportunity to grow more. So things like tomatoes and peppers are two of the favorite things that I love to start indoors, but you need to kind of figure out when you should start them. So if you are, like I found out that, or from Googling, I found out my last frost date is mid-May to, May long weekend is kind of the last frost date that I use. Then you want to just start counting back and figuring out when you should start your seeds. So a lot of seed packets like I have here, like a tomato seed, will tell you to start indoors, 5 to 6 weeks before your last frost date. So basically, all you need to do is take something like a calendar and just, figure out when your last frost date is on there. And then I just count backwards and mark it in the calendar every week by week, kind of going back till I've hit that 6 weeks, that 8 weeks, and that 12 weeks. And then I just start kind of writing in what I'm going to be planting based on, how many weeks ahead of time they need to be planted. So I did have a sheet here. I'm just going to see if I can bring it up again. I hope that everybody could see what I was just showing there. Uh, I'll say somebody said they can see. That's good. Sorry. I shouldn't have, got into so much technical stuff on my first one here, but I'm just going to try to share the screen again, show you my chart here that I created. So this is something that, you can use. I'll have this available on my gardening community site that you can download or print off. So basically, once you have figured out what your last frost date is, and you can just count backwards on a calendar, then you can kind of determine, when you need to start certain things. So going back 10 to 12 weeks for me here in growing zone 3, probably growing zone 4, where our, last frost date is mid-May. Going back about 10 to 12 weeks will take us to about middle of February. So that's when I'm going to start some of my indoor seeds, things like asparagus, strawberries, celery. For me, it's onion seeds. I love to start onions from seeds. They take a long time, they're slow to grow. So those are usually about 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. And then from there, we get into the brassicas, which is about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. There's certain flowers that you can start at that time too. So basically, if you buying seeds in the store, just always just check and have a look and see what it suggests as, the timeline that you need to start indoors. And again, my favorite time is when it's time to start tomatoes and peppers. I love growing those. I do start a lot of my own flowers like petunias, marigolds, and zinnias. All of them are really easy to start indoors, and then they're great to have out in your garden. Just saves a lot of money on, when you go to the greenhouse and start buying a lot of those bedding plants in June. It can be very expensive. So, and then 4 to 6 weeks is what we would maybe start melons, pumpkin, squash, a lot of your herbs that you could start indoors. And then also on this list here, I kind of touch on certain things that you don't need to start indoors that you could just grow out, direct sow outside, like your potatoes, peas, carrots, corn, onion sets. Some people start lettuces indoors. I find that they grow just as quickly and they like cool soil, so I just direct sow my lettuces outside all the time. And then we have things like the cucumbers and beans, radishes, turnips. They like warm soil. So there's no point in starting them, indoors. They don't really like to be transplanted too much. They're best to just put direct sow them in warm soil when the soil temperature is, over that 15 degrees Celsius. So you always just want to keep your eye on the weather. Here in Saskatchewan, we have had a lot of late frosts that come in, and you think everything is great out in the garden. You start planting, and then come the end of May, early June, we can still get frost at night and lose a lot of our delicate plants. So I always recommend, when you're looking at these charts and the recommended times to start things indoors, later is better than earlier, I always say, because you start them too soon, you got these big leggy plants that are, root bound in their little pots, and they want to get outside, and you got cold weather and the ground isn't ready, or you got frost coming, so you can't put them out, or you're moving them in and out all the time. So I find that just waiting longer to start your seeds indoors is probably better than sooner. So what I would like to hear what some people's favorite thing to start, or if you do start seeds indoors, what's your favorite thing to start? Um, like I said, I am a tomato person. I like to try new varieties every year. So I do cherry tomatoes and I do the beef steaks, and now they have all different colors of tomatoes. There's blue tomatoes, there's yellow tomatoes, and we have the indeterminate and the determinate varieties. So, tomatoes is something that you can always uh, try new things. Same with the peppers. Peppers, I don't particularly like hot peppers, but sweet peppers I like to try growing outside. I don't know if anybody's an expert at cucumbers, but for some reason I am a terrible cucumber grower, and I try to grow them indoors, which is a challenge. I actually have some growing back here in a like an aero garden type system, and I try to grow them hydroponically in my grow tents. I get one or two. But even outdoors, I don't know why last summer, um, I just could not get them to produce. And my husband loves cucumbers and was quite disappointed in my harvest last year. So that is something that I'm trying to work on. I don't know why. I do container gardening mostly. So I have some new garden beds that I just love. I use, big tubs, mineral tubs that we get from our cattle that are left over. They're big 30-gallon tubs. They make great containers for growing in. So for the most part, I'm a container gardener as opposed to an in-ground gardener, and it's just easier. We don't have the best soil here in our yard for growing. We have a lot of alkalis in our water and in our soil, so that's just why I chose container gardening. So, um, what else are we saying here? Kenzie says she loves to start herbs indoors. And I will just want to say that my daughter Mackenzie, who's under her daughter's or her sister's alias name here on the chat, is um, just lives down the road from me. We're very happy that I have one daughter living close by, and she is expecting a baby any day. And I asked her if she would kind of help me with this tonight, make sure that people can hear me, and that if there's anything technical happening, she'll let me know in the chat. So I just wanted to just say I'm excited to be a grandma again. This will be my second grandbaby, and I'm going to be having another grandson. And my other grandson, Henderson, if you follow me on my channel, you will see that he is in a lot of my YouTube videos, and that is just something that is so wonderful, is being able to garden with your children and with your grandchildren. It's just something that I think is a great thing to be able to share and teach to the young kids. And he absolutely loves it. I have videos of him 2 years old, helping me plant potatoes. And last year he was right in there again, helping me dig up potatoes. And Mackenzie, my daughter, who lives down the road, her and her partner Sean have amazing garden, and they've been gardening there for the last 2 years since they moved on to the farm. And I'm just very proud of and amazed at the garden that they grew in the ground, everything, in the ground, traditional gardening, and it was huge. And they had a great harvest of potatoes, which we just enjoyed some of them tonight. So I'm just really happy when it's something that you can share with your children and grandchildren. And it is something my grandmother loved to do, was gardening, my mother, and now, I have that passion too. So that is just basically my first live. I also wanted to just talk about this community that I started. It's called the Gardeners Growing Together, and it is on the school app. And I'm going to try to make sure I put the link to it in the description box. It might be there, but I cannot tell right now. Anyways, I would just like to take you on a quick visual of what this community is. So basically, I started this because I wanted to have a more interactive type community, and I wasn't really keen about going on Facebook. I just find that Facebook is a little bit spammy and it tends to get, people coming in that aren't really um, positive, can start picking on people, or, just the chats sometimes get a little bit negative. So I discovered the school community through another program that I'm in, where they were promoting, building a community around your passion, a place where you can, offer a safe space for your followers. So this is why I have started this, and I really want it to be an interactive group where, everybody's asking questions, sharing knowledge, sharing pictures, and you don't have to be an expert gardener. You can be a beginner gardener, or just anybody who wants to join in and talk about gardening and just share stories. So I am going to just take you to that screen here. Let's see if I can do this again, and I'll just show you a little bit about what it looks like and how I've set it up so far. So as I said, it's on the school app. So this is basically the same kind of thing like a Facebook or Instagram. You'd have to, when you ask to join my community here, the school app will pop up and you'll have to put in your name and I think an email, and then you can download the school app right onto your phone so that you have, that app right there. You can just click right in and get into whichever community. I'm actually on several communities on the school app now. There's just a whole variety of different things on there. So um, I'm assuming you can see this now. So I just wanted to show you a bit what it looks like. So I have 16 members already now, and this is kind of like where you can post different things. Such as, when you first join, I get people to come on and just introduce themselves, tell me where they're from. You can comment and like on people's posts. You can share pictures, and I have this discussion area kind of categorized into just welcome, general discussion, Q&A section. If you have questions about gardening or anything, you can put them under that category. And then I've created other categories as well. So you can choose them when you go to put in a comment. And then there's also this great area called the classroom. And I've started creating modules in here. And you will see that one of them here is called Groom and Bloom Gardening Finds. So it's just a whole list of gardening tools, gadgets, things that I love to use and that I recommend. And when you go in there, you can see different categories that I've created for hydroponics, for seed starting, garden beds, containers. I got some pictures. I have some links to where you can buy them. I've also done a lot of reviews on a lot of these products that are on my YouTube channel, so you can, find them there as well. So, and then I've just made different categories again: indoor seed starting, hydroponics, winter sowing, and in there I have videos and resource documents that you can reference. So hopefully you'll find those helpful. And I also have a course that I created last year. You may have seen me promoting it on my channel, and it is called Indoor Hydroponics for Beginners. So I've created a 15 module course. It's about 90 minutes long that takes you step by step on how to start your first indoor hydroponic system. And that is a one-time cost of $15 to buy the course. And then, it's yours to watch at your leisure. And so that is on there. I've also created a recipe box, which I'm also hoping that we can really build here, where, we'll get into the summertime when we are harvesting our stuff and looking for recipes and canning and all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that this can be a community effort where people contribute recipes and different ideas. I also will have videos. I've also already put in a bunch of videos that I've created on different things that I've made from some of my garden harvest. And so, yeah, so that's kind of a tour of what the modules are. The Legacy Builder program is a uh, online marketing group that I have recently joined, and I am learning how to build my online uh, business. And starting this community was one of the things that I learned about in this program. So, this is something that if you are interested in looking into, you can click there to get more information. Also a calendar in here, so if I'm hosting anything or having a live coming up, it'll show up in the calendar. You can also find all the members if you wanted to chat with any of the members one-on-one. If you have questions or you have stuff that you want to share between yourselves, you can chat amongst yourselves here. And the leaderboards just shows you different levels that you get to based on how much interaction and communication you do on the group. Everybody starts at level 1 as a seed. I just gave them these names. So if you make a few posts, you will move up to level 2, and it unlocks some of those classrooms once have done more engagement in the community. So that is just kind of a rundown of gardeners growing together. I just really hope that I can get more people. It's a free community right now. I'm wanting all the founding members to, just join for free. Let's build this up and make it a safe space where people can come and share uh, information and share knowledge and just talk about gardening. So, hello. I'm missing out on some of the chat here. Um, Hello, Elizabeth. Cut flowers. That's something that I'd really like to get into is more cut flowers. I've always been doing like just petunias and the pansies and stuff that, fill pots, but I would love to really get into um what are make good cut flowers. So Elizabeth, please join the community and maybe you can share some of that, some of your favorite cut flowers that you like growing. And snapdragons is something that I usually start, petunias, zinnias, cosmos. There's a whole bunch of flowers that are supposed to be really good to grow near your vegetable garden so that you bring in the pollinators and the butterflies. And nasturtiums is something that I always have growing around my tomatoes. They seem to somehow keep the pests away from the tomatoes. I notice usually late in the season they get attacked by bugs and kind of wiped out, but I think that's their job is they're taking away the bugs and the pests from our precious, vegetables and doing their job. So growing flowers in with your vegetables is a great idea as well. So, I think, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I maybe found a little bit helpful. I'd like to do more. Next week, I'm going to start doing my winter sowing, and I don't know if anybody here in the chat has tried winter sowing, but it's something that I've been doing for the last few years, and it's kind of an alternative to starting seeds indoors, and where you can, use the milk jugs and you set up your seeds and your soil in the milk jug. You create a little greenhouse effect with the milk jug. It goes outside, can start doing it anytime between now and spring. Put them outside, they freeze, and the seeds just sit there and wait until the optimal time. So it kind of mimics, having the seeds in the ground. And when the it starts to warm up and that soil inside the milk jug warms up, they will germinate and grow. And, it's just like having little mini greenhouses outdoors. So it's a great alternative to indoor seed starting. And so next week, either I'll make a video and post it, or maybe I'll do another live and just show you hands on how to set up milk jugs for that winter sowing method. So once again, I just want to thank everybody. Please go down to the description box and join my community. Like I said, it's free. I want to keep it free, at least for, the first 100 members or the founding members. And you know, keep it just as a free resource and a free space that gardeners can go. And, who knows where it will take us. I just hope that it will be a spot that people like to go to. I find doing YouTube, I do all the talking and I want to ask questions too. And I want, to get people's answers. So I just think having a gardening community like that would be a great thing. So I hope that you will join my community. And I just really want to thank everybody for joining me tonight on my first live. It was lots of fun. And hopefully, we will see you again soon. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, everybody.